outboard equipment.
We'll just edit this shit. Sorry, go ahead. I wasn't trying to actually record that.
Is it recording?
It is.
Oh, well, you succeeded
Well, I did.
regardless.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, you have a dog. I have a cat behind the laptop. There's a cat.
Hmm.
Ooh.
I have a giant crescent moon.
Happy crescent moon.
Yes, happy crescent moon.
Okay. Someone
And all
posted on Facebook today that today is the solstice on the Julian calendar. Is that what's going on?
well, the jewels.
Yeah, Romans again.
Those damn Romans
I know.
and their economical calendars. What was the Julian's calendar? It was clearly not, it clearly didn't serve the papal state as well as the Gregorian calendar.
I suppose not. I am calendar ignorant, I have to admit. Very
Yeah,
calendar ignorant. I'm calendar challenged.
all I know is that every Friday, every month in a lunar calendar has a Friday the 13th. That's all I know.
Oh, well.
The 13th day of every month is Friday.
Do you think we ever did use the moon for the calendar instead of the sun? Like we as a community of biological entities, I mean.
There are some businesses that use the lunar calendar. What were you going to say first?
I just wonder why we have this solar calendar and how that came to dominate. I don't know anything about the history of it.
I know a little bit, but not much.
Yeah. Like who won that? Who won that coin toss? Like, oh, the sun, the moon. It always comes back to farmers somehow and capitalism and work or something, right?
Yeah,
definitely farmers.
you
Definitely
kind of have to get the food when you can see the food.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of a little bit of biologically locked like that.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
do things by the moon. The moon is the day to day, but the sun is the seasons and the change of the seasons. So we ultimately we can't separate ourselves from one or the other.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder, like,
unless you're at the
people.
equator.
Yeah.
Unless you're at the equator, and you're not all cultures are come from places with seasons, man. You know, we have a significant number of cultures on Earth that just grew up with.
Which is the culture more lunar or more solar?
That's a good question. Also, was it more lunar when we were ice age living in caves and stuff and such versus agricultural and hunting?
Definitely. Sorry to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
So into it. It's definitely easier, or it's more like the moon is in your face. There are some nights where you cannot see 10 feet away from you or 10 yards away from you. And there are some nights where the whole thing is lit up.
Yeah.
And you have to go hunt that night. Or you have to go find the thing you're looking for that night. So definitely, yeah, definitely just the more routine of the moon is going to be with you every day.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we don't need this, that we don't need to be synced in with. Like if you happen to be out and it's a full moon, you go, damn, that's a cool moon. You might try and take a picture and be like totally disappointed by the picture. But like we don't need the moon anymore in our economic civilization.
I don't know. Tides still do a thing. Tides are still important. Like you still got to do like fishing by tide. You still got to do, certain things are tidal just by nature. So
the ER formed on a full moon.
Without ERs, this is something my wife has experienced firsthand as an EMT in Los Angeles for 8+ years. The shit that happened on full moons was of a different character. Bang. Um, oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Mystic Trainwreck podcast,
Hello.
officially. This is your host, Rob Randolph. That's Crass Joy with the head thing.
Chris.
And that's Chris Lee over there,
Hello.
being very Chrissy.
Yeah. I excel at that. That's so I try to do it as often as I can.
Yeah, cool. This is Jezebel.
Hi, Jezebel.
Hi, little whore. We were calling her the whore of Babylon earlier, and it was funny.
I see.
so.
I see.
Well, that is the name, right? And this is the avatar. In red, the red woman of Babylon, she had been invoked with the crescent moon on her head. I mean, it's a little freaky. It's a little freaky. Hi, sweetheart.
How cute.
Yeah. She's just a lovely animal. And she likes getting that muscle in her neck rubbed right there. She's pushing into it so hard. As soon as I put my finger there, she's just like, oh yeah, that's the spot. And now she's giving me looks. What a sweetheart. Anyway, we were talking about the moon.
And calendars, yeah.
Calendars.
Yeah.
And I lost our trains of thought at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about the pictures that have been being taken of the moon by the various spacecraft that have been going around the dark side and whatnot. How little we actually know about it still, right? Then there's still tons of conspiracy theories about it, right?
Mhm.
Like whether or not the moon is hollow is still debated fiercely amongst, certain circles of people. Whether or not it's a hollow spaceship that was flown here, right, for purposes of terraforming, right, this planet after nuclear war on Mars. There's all sorts of stuff that people think about the moon. And
I heard on the radio that they're actually, and by they, it must be the United States, is planning settlement.
it
Never
could be, yeah. The Chinese have landed on the dark side of the moon, so they've been hanging out there for a while. Yeah.
Didn't know.
I do wonder, we were talking about we don't use the moon anymore. And I feel like there's a new level of moon usage just right around the corner. Right?
Mhm.
And what do we lose when we move from the previous relationship with the moon to the new one, which is clearly going to be settlements and territories and nation states and all that fun stuff that is down here on this planet.
Is going to keep going.
You know what? It's really funny how when we keep looking for a new frontier to conquer, we keep finding it.
Yeah. There's always one there.
Always one there.
Is not the final frontier within. Finalist.
The very final one. That's what Stanley Kubrick taught me. Yes.
Mm.
It's very much like a movie screen.
Yeah.
That's like Sartesian philosophy.
I do have to wonder though, when we conquer this new frontier, right? When we become new colonialists again, and there's another race, like it seems like that's what the history of our species really gets excited about, right?
New race or new culture?
New stuff to find.
Okay. New everything.
Like, whoa, look at this new stuff. This is mine. I was here first, right? That's what we always say. I was here first.
Depends if you have a flag and a pole.
Well, we did put the flag and the pole on. Yeah.
No flag, no country. Those are the rules.
Yeah. No flag, no army, no country. What else? I was just talking to someone about that.
Symbol. The centrality of symbol.
Borders.
Yeah, sorry, I shut you up. I apologize.
It used to be pretty easy to become your own country. You just, you needed an office, you needed a phone number,
Mm.
you needed one man with a whistle and a knife or something.
And borders. I really think borders are the most
And an
important
island.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, and an island.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of natural or unnatural way of saying mine. This is mine. There was a great Canadian sketch comedy group in the 90s called Kids in the Hall.
Mm.
They had a fantastic sketch of a man in a hospital room recovering maybe from some sort of surgery, and someone comes in and they look like a Spaniard and they say, "I claim this chest in the name of Spain," and they stick a flag in this dude's chest, right? Ah. And then a Frenchman comes and says, "I claim this chest in the name of France," right? And I don't know, to my young ears and eyes, that was a really awakening moment for the game that gets played, right? And we see it played with the Arctic.
Mm.
This is mine. No, that's mine. It's mine. Antarctica is going to be the same thing. The moon. We tend to stay away from the ocean, though.
It's gonna be a moon's race, right? And whoever gets there first gets to claim their little
Yeah, they get all those rocks.
all those. I want rocks. Who doesn't want what you come from? Who
Yeah.
doesn't want a very condensed version of you?
Yeah, very much so, right? This is me, rock.
Rock.
This
Rock.
is rock part,
It's a mineral dragon.
But what is I guess what's the value of the moon in that case, right? It just completely takes a different meaning on, right? It's no longer spooky and up there and far away. It's going to become,
It's gonna have its own astrology.
yes, it will. It will have to.
It will have to. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going. I'll do it for that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, new stuff. New stuff.
I wanted to go to Mars for that, but I just yeah. No, new astrology. New astrology. I don't even have the word for it. It's it's exciting. I wouldn't want to go for anything but my own purpose. Come on.
Let's see. Why would I want to go to the moon? Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, so yeah, I guess I wouldn't. I don't want to go to the moon. I mean, I'll go to the moon later. I'm doing things here now. It's
Maybe
silly to
visit.
me to put myself here and then go, well, I better get off this planet and go to the moon. I'm here for a reason, so I'll stick around.
Good on you.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
Are you going to the moon?
You know what? I didn't think that's a question I'd have to consider in my lifetime.
It might be.
I don't have a ready answer.
Yeah.
It is now.
I
I
don't
just think about myself.
I guess when I look at it, no, I don't really give a fuck. I'm
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. I would be the guy staying in Europe in the 1500s.
Mhm.
In the 15. Oh, yeah, that means that you were upper class and like, oh, good God, all the radical religious people are going and they're taking the whores and the criminals with them. Thank God.
No, it's no, it's just that I don't have
It's more
a
reasonable.
need. I just don't have a need to expand in that way. I mean, I like going to other places,
Mhm. The moon is another place.
I don't deny that there's a comfort here that I'm not like,
I want to see the Earth. I would want to see the Earth. That would be
that would
my,
be pretty cool.
I would take a trip into space.
Yeah.
yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I don't know if
too,
I'd land on the moon and like vacation on the moon.
yeah, no, I would be into that idea for sure. I don't know. I would be into the idea of saying I did that more than even doing it.
Hmm.
Look at how many things I haven't done in my life.
And also look at how many things you have done.
Too many trines. No, too much easy energy. But working on it, working on displacing my inability to go on a proper adventure. So easy in the mind. I feel like we're all equally just as I feel like we could all go to the moon, whether we want to or not in this moment. But
Oh, certainly.
but oh I lost it before you said I'll certainly.
Well, there's a remote viewer that reports that he looked at the moon and then he saw a being looking back at him
On the moon?
on the moon.
That'd be cool.
So maybe, I mean, I don't know.
Was it someone who was already there?
Yeah, it was definitely someone who wasn't one of us. So remote viewing is one way to go there in your mind in kind of a way that's more concrete.
But that's just what
Were they,
dudes were doing with angels and shit back in the day.
Yeah, it's the
were they
same thing
kicked
now.
out by like CIA remote viewers?
Uh,
Yeah.
the CIA remote viewer is the person who reported this. Yes, there's a very famous CIA remote viewer who did this. Speaking of tomorrow, there's a group hemisync going on at like noon. If anyone's interested.
3 o'clock.
That'll be tough for me to do. I have a development meeting then.
Yeah, I don't think you could do it and that at the same time.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you could, right? If I put on headphones and just run a signal through.
Yeah, and then you could just, put up kind of it's too bad that you can't use GIFs as your profile picture in Zoom. Because then you could just have one of you kind of moving a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blinking, right? Blink, maybe eating a piece of cheese. Then people will be like, man, he's eating a lot of cheese, but this is a long meeting, so I don't blame him.
Oh my gosh,
And then you could go do something else.
That's a very contrived scenario, Christopher.
Well, I think about avatars and their utility.
Yeah.
A GIF could be a very zoomy avatar.
Just you nodding. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, exactly. Every now and then, except that that's gonna fuck up severely at one point. Like something's happened, then like everyone's silent.
Go, Rob.
Like
Yeah, someone will ask a question. You're like, yeah. Oh, let me eat a piece of cheese. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe once in a while point at someone. Good idea. I don't know. I'm just thinking about ways to get out of work, and I don't even do much of that these days. So it's
you know which calendar I like? Astrology. Because it's not a
really
calendar, it's an algorithm. So it does have points of reference that relate to the seasons and the days and like multi-level functioning. But it's mostly just a language. What was that word that we came up with Mel? Synchronomancy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really awesome guide to synchronomancy.
Yes.
I know I totally derailed, but I felt like
No, I've heard synchronomancy. I mean, I don't know that word, but it reminds me of something I was told about the tarot before I started learning it.
hmm,
That it was a way of bringing out the synchronicities in your everyday experience.
nice, yeah. Yeah, and for the record too, what astrology was able to actually finally teach me about the tarot, because I wasn't understanding what level the tarot was speaking at. And the tarot is speaking here and now. It doesn't have an arc in and through time. It's giving you as it stands here and now to something of question. Whereas, that's where, as magical people navigating what tools we're using, like they speak at different levels is a very broad term that doesn't, I'm not enjoying it, but you get it. As opposed to like astrology will tell you a here and now, because you got to find a here and now to slice through this disembodied creature that we call the solar system. But it is showing you, it's showing you the rhythm, it's showing you the algorithm of many moving parts. Yeah. I think I was saying this to you, Rob, that like I was watching um a bee person talk about bees recently, and really made it obvious how the hive is one entity. It's a disembodied creature that has different moving parts. But like the queen bee would be the reproductive organ of that creature, and the different kinds of bees are the different organs of that creature. And that's kind of how I'd love to, it's kind of how I'm starting to see like the solar system. It's a disembodied creature. And perhaps, again, Earth perhaps is the reproductive organ of the creature, because we have creatures on this creature.
Yes. Minds, little sinkholes in consciousness, come here to incorporate themselves. That's interesting. The astrology is a giant clockworks, right? That's one perspective. And then as an algorithm, you know,
That's the algorithm. It has
yeah,
clockwork in it, but it's
yeah, yeah.
it has religiosity in it too. Ah,
Hmm.
what else is a disembodied creature?
Humans,
What would be the moon? Perhaps a species then? What do you
I mean, we are a collective of cooperating cells. There's no other way to put that.
yeah.
And we're a collective not just of cooperating cells, but of other species, microbiome after microbiome in our body, right? You want to talk about going to the moon? Will your little micro critters survive in space? I don't know, right? But they're somehow related to your sense of identity and your sense of self. Your gut bacteria and your mental health, just one example, right?
And my literal isopods.
Yes. I don't think there's anything such as a body,
Hmm.
right?
Interesting.
Like, yeah, at any level, it's a disembodied creature. And this pattern of energy that we hold and call ourselves is a collective. Um, each piece of that collective having a, a very high degree of intelligence, because every single one of our cells knows how to reconstruct our entire body.
Yeah.
And so we are a, a collective of hyper intelligent, highly evolved consciousnesses.
And yet it's all just a series of bubbles.
Yeah.
It's not other than that. It's just where we conceptualize the division between what something is and what something is not.
Yes. And the cosmos is kind of the same way, right? We are part of its tiny cellular structure. We are incredibly intelligent agents that form its inner workings, right?
I don't know. That's how it appears,
Yeah. And
but I'm not so sure that's the essence of it. I think the essence of it is quite dark, bright. Somehow. It's a dark brightness. Because it's totally opaque to our psyche, right? We can only reduce it.
Mm.
But it is totally luminous. Like it just displays open luminosity, possibility, unending, forever. That's this display, but that's also not other than what it is or is not, which is a distinction that really doesn't make sense. So we just are left with a big open question that we choose how to respond to. And we are the most aware creatures that we know of. So we have the responsibility of deciding, because we can respond rather than react. That makes us responsible for how we act. And we choose how to respond to the question continually.
Higher mind and lower mind are not always associated.
They're not different from each other. There is no gap.
You just spoke of response versus instinct.
It's a kind of choice you make, but we don't make the choice. We just appear to make the choice. So we appear to have something we don't have, but we can find it, which is not a contradiction. It's a paradox, which is the nature of it. So.
Nature of what?
Yeah, exactly.
I lost the it.
Yeah, that's the point.
Well, that was fun.
It's joy. You can choose joy in any moment. And you can choose curiosity in any moment. And you can choose love in any moment. And then once you know you can do that, like, why wouldn't you? Unless you have something to find out about the other shit.
This might be the difference between knowing and knowing.
Or knowingness, which is also the nature of the thing, like to know itself. But it's not the thing. The nature of, I mean, let's just call it Ensof for the purposes of reducing it. But that's just its nature. It's just.
Is it unnatural for the thing to know itself and for the thing to know that it knows itself?
The words just stop working at that point. They don't extend.
Sure
The concept, at some point conceptuality ceases.
Yeah, but that we haven't reached that point yet, not even close.
Well, no, because we're still talking.
Okay, well, I mean, I accept your point. of pointlessness, but I would like to have a conversation.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying don't have the conversation. I'm just saying having a conversation that gets to that thing, the limitless openness that knows itself through its own awareness, which is like that spontaneously knows itself through its own awareness, pervasively aware of its own spontaneity, right? Like constantly, like trying to categorize and conceptualize the whole thing, but you can't. But that's what leads us into the worry thing. Like we're missing something, we feel we lack something, we're lacking some concept that is simply a designation that arose from within us that you can let go of anytime you want and just choose joy or curiosity or love or, you know, any of the other things that you like. So, yeah.
If it was that easy, I don't think the world would be the way it is. I don't think we'd have a calendar.
Well, yeah, but it sounds so simple, but like it's not really like executing that is fucking really tough.
Can't just choose joy.
Yeah, there's a difference between simple and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the things that are simple are incredibly difficult, in my opinion.
Yes, yes.
They take a lot
But
of practice, I'll say that.
Well, that makes them not easy.
Oh,
right.
simple.
Literally, the definition of something that's hard to do is taking something a lot of practice.
Yeah,
I'm not-
but simple is not complicated. Not complex.
That's true. Okay, I stand
Yeah.
corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by simple.
Yeah.
Is not, it's not complicated. It is just
Like-
choose, right? That's what
It's
the Buddha
not-
said. Just
Yeah,
choose.
it's not complicated to swipe the sword, but it is very complicated to know exactly how to hold every part of your body and points of contact, and like this, the mastery of anything becomes, I don't know, does simplicity intensify?
It's two kinds of mastery, right? Because there's one mastery that evolves through practice, and there's one mastery that just arrives when you relax.
Is there not still learned practice in mastery that arises from relaxing?
Could be. I don't know. But it seems like
Depends
if you
what.
relax into a thing, you appear to be a master of it, regardless of whether you're a master or not.
Sounds right.
So that's how it appears to me. I don't know if it's right,
Yes.
but it seems like there's those two paths that exist. Exist being a bad word for what I'm describing. Metaphor.
There are a lot of not great words.
You know, and as much as we can intellectualize about it, you can't actually get there through that either. Like you can't get through a concept of it. You just have to be experiencing it in the moment. I mean, that's why it's hard to do joy, which is what you called art the other day, by the way.
Yes, I called art the culture of joy,
Mhm.
and science the culture of curiosity.
Yeah. So you can choose to do those things.
Yeah, I can.
And then like it's like you're choosing to like, well, how do you want to do that then? And it's like you can choose to do them really well and carefully and like calmly and relaxed. And then no matter what your actual skill level, right? You're okay with what's happening.
Like, we're talking ideals though. We're not talking
Yeah. I can't communicate in other than ideals.
I know, and I hate ideals.
I know it's tough, man. Like It's something I heard a guy say that's one of the ways that we are led into conceptualizing, like building a Kabbalistic shell around something is by talking about it, which is a real pain in the ass for modern culture to think about.
I get that teaching all the time.
Yeah, right. Like sometimes I need some people to shut the fuck up with.
Yeah, I have a lot of shutting the fuck up to do.
Yeah, me too.
Chris, you're doing great right now.
Killing it. In the shut the
I've
fuck
been
up.
practicing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Why do we always spin back around to this problem that isn't a problem until we talk about it?
It's
'Cause
fun.
most of our conversations spin back around to basically this.
Well, it's the only thing that's there.
And then any kind of challenge is very easily subdued.
Yeah. Because you can
So
just relax and like, the outcome's going to be the outcome. Whatever your skill level is, if you have a bad outcome, that's because you conceptualized the outcome before it happened and compared it with reality.
say that again.
When you think you have a bad outcome, it's because you conceptualized about it beforehand, and now you're comparing reality with your concept and seeing that it falls short. And that's crazy. Like, what do you mean reality fell short of what?
Suffering is the distance between reality and expectations, right? This is the Buddha, the second noble truth, right? You have these preconceptions about what's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and that's what causes you to have this like jiggle in your calmness, I think.
Jiggle in the calmness. It's more, to me, it feels like dissonance, like a kind of, I hesitate to call it sonic, but that's the most relevant metaphor. But it's kind of like a jangly, like yeah, and there's ripples, right? Like, to the extent that you can't hold that energy and return to whatever you choose, like then you send those ripples out again, and it's a dissonant ripples. That's how it feels to me anyway.
I need to ripple someone's dissonant thoughts about mathematics in a few minutes.
Tutoring.
Yeah. I've got someone in a panic, very far from the calm state they need to be in.
Mm.
Just let them know.
That nothing matters,
Oh, everything matters.
but has no point.
The point's everywhere.
Wait, how can I keep this going?
Where's everywhere? Shit. If there's no spatial dimensions.
It's called La Prima Materia.
The Avira Cadmon itself, being all Cadmon-y.
Well, I am going to sign off.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks for coming by.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks
Bye.
for listening,
Bye.
talking, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were we going to talk about on Friday? The culture of art and joy, or art, joy, was it something like that?
Joy and curiosity, I believe you said. How would you boot up a culture of joy and curiosity, or something to that effect?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we just talked about
We talked about it. No, we talked about the same thing we always talk about.
it. Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
No, I have no idea. I think this conversation was perfect. I'm just being a whiny bitch.
I know, it's fine. I enjoy your process.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to stop recording? I'll talk about my process.
Yeah, sure. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to another episode of the Mystic Train Wreck. We're going to go be a private train wreck.
Private train wreck. Yeah.